Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man. It is only Wednesday, July 14th, 2021. So let's see. I have a dentist appointment today. Grubhub ate my fries yesterday. Jerks. Wouldn't give me a refund. Had to argue over it. And my boy Devin Booker's got redemption on his mind tonight.
Right.
Oh, by the way, my wife's going to be out of the house all night long, so...
You know what that means.
I'll be sitting on the couch naked. That's what that means, man.
Send nudes.
Okay. Make sure you hit subscribe. We are meteorically approaching 1,500 subscribers here on YouTube. The boob tube. It's not for boobs.
Damn, look at how many people are in already.
Yeah, Cody Strickland's first in. Hey, how are you? Wait, what happened, Cody Strickland? What the fuck? Like, Cody Strickland said I got married Saturday, could not catch the show, was catching up at 3 a.m. today. You didn't even introduce us to her? You just went and got married. You cantaloped and didn't even introduce us to her.
Wow.
Like you weren't like, hello, how do you get married without our blessing? God. Anyway, point is, make sure you hit subscribe. I have no idea. Make sure you hit subscribe. We're going to give away this very here Xbox Series Series S. Coming up at 1,500 subscribers. It's going to be a long show. All you have to do is hit subscribe, take a picture that you're subscribed, and then tag us both on Facebook and Instagram, The Monty Show, M-O-N-T-Y, The Monty Show for me. Jake is SLC Supercars, where all you're going to see is Subies.
There you go.
Subi Flow, bro. WRX STI.
Right. Yeah.
With Mustang headlights.
Right.
Is it what you'll see on his Instagram? I am The Monty Show. He is SLC Supercars on Instagram and Twitter. Tag it at 1,500. We'll give away the Xbox. Cody Strickland says she subscribed to your channel, LOL. Well, okay, well, thanks for the wedding gift.
Well, now you have our blessing. I mean, that's what matters.
Are you registered somewhere, Cody? You should put it in the comments section, and people will send you gifts. Duh.
I want more.
Tanner Plummer says, congratulations, Cody. Okay. Let's get right to work. How about we start young Jake?
Yeah.
With Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Mm-hmm. It's a big night for the Phoenix Suns. Rally the Valley! I don't feel very confident about this game tonight. It is shocking, the poor performance that the Suns turned in for Game 3. Now, they've been here before. Let's not kid ourselves. It is Game 3s have not been kind outside of the Denver series, but Game 3s have not been kind to the Phoenix Suns. So they have felt this before. They have bounced back in Game 4s before. And I feel like Devin Booker is on a redemption tour of Milwaukee tonight. So bar the doors and hide your wives, because I think Devin Booker's coming, Jake. I'd be shocked if he didn't bounce back.
Yeah, well, I think that's the expectation. And I think, it not even in terms of the team expecting him to do that. I think Devin Booker, just for himself, like a me-to-me kind of thing, like he expects himself to bounce back and bring 30-plus points tonight. And I would expect 7 or 8 assists in that kind of a game. The kind of performances we were seeing in Game 1 and Game 2 in Phoenix. And I think that, Devin Booker, I still maintain, has work to do nationally in terms of getting his respect. And I think this postseason run has really helped him with that. But coming out tonight on the road in Milwaukee and putting up a big performance and really making a statement would do wonders for him, I feel like. I think that, this game right here is, to me, the series. If you win this game tonight as the Suns, you're firmly in control, you're going home, you're in a great spot. You lose this game tonight, now all of a sudden, Milwaukee's won 2 in a row, you're heading back to Phoenix, you're trying to figure out what you got to do, and Milwaukee's believing that they can win on the road now, and now the series is kind of back on its head. So this is a really important game from a number of different viewpoints.
You can drive back to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Let's listen to Suns head coach Monty Williams talking about his team.
50-50 balls. We couldn't come up with those balls. There was a play
where Giannis dove. Devin got a palm on the ball. We couldn't get it. The ball hits Mikal in the face. We couldn't get it. Cam Johnson had it. We couldn't get it. Giannis ends up with it and dunks the ball. Like, those are the kinds of plays that we just could not, make go our way when we're playing the way that we know we can play. The offensive rebounding, Torrey didn't have one. He's a guy that just falls into it, you know what I'm saying? And then just both ends, just the relentless sprinting, getting to the corners on offense, defensively getting back and showing a wall. That was what we thought was inconsistent, and our players thought the same. When we watched film yesterday, they were all in agreement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you disagree with that.
I don't at all. I mean, what I think is interesting is that, you if you're the Phoenix Suns, you should be more athletic than the Milwaukee Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the formula to beat the Bucks this is not like algebraic. This is not atomic science. This isn't Richard Branson in space. This is get rebounds and get out on the break. Get rebounds, outlet pass. Now, the other thing you have to get is Devin Booker actually putting the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
I think this is a major concern. If you are the Phoenix Suns, one of the things I think you have to be majorly concerned about is that Devin Booker just has simply not shot consistently this entire postseason. Again, it's one game. But if Game 4 goes the way Game 3 went, now I think you have to be really worried about Devin Booker, and he has put together a fine postseason. Is this simply that he's played the most minutes of anybody in the postseason and could be on track? Now, that fourth quarter probably derails him, but he was on track to play the most minutes ever in a postseason run by any player. That's a lot. And so the question is this just mileage on the tires? I don't know. But you would think after sitting out that fourth quarter and probably getting good rest in the 3 days leading up to this Game 4, my guess is Devin Booker comes out refreshed and ready to run through a wall to get to the bucket tonight. So, Jake, I feel like this is one of those games, and I know the over-under has been very difficult to hit in this series.
Yeah.
This is one of those games where I feel like this is going to be, a 220, 230 kind of game. I think that you're looking at, a 110, 115, something in that neighborhood. I feel like this is going to be more of a high-scoring game.
Yeah, and I think that, we had kind of talked about this, I think it was late last week or maybe even it was Monday, about how, the Suns really try to prioritize getting DeAndre Ayton going early in a game. Yeah. And I really feel like they need to prioritize getting Devin Booker going early in the game because DeAndre Ayton, while he's very important to what they do, Devin Booker is the straw that stirs the drink.
Yeah,
When Devin Booker is hitting and Devin Booker is knocking down that mid-range and he's confidently playing the game on offense, it makes life really difficult for whoever they're playing because you have a guy in Chris Paul who causes absolute chaos in the pick and roll, and then you've got a guy in Devin who really wants the ball and wants to knock down the shots, and then on top of that, that's where the role players should really be coming in Bridges and all these other guys. But you can't have, Devin Booker, going 1 of 7 to start the game and ended up with 10 points in an NBA Finals game on the road. That's not going to be a formula for success. And I do agree with you, what you were saying earlier, that Game 3s, for whatever reason, just have not been good to the Suns. And I don't know if that's a preparation thing when they play that first game on the road or whatever the case is, but I would rather lose Game 3 than lose Game 4. I can tell you that. I'd rather lose that first one and then win the second one as I'm heading home. So I still think they're in a strong position, but tonight is everything for them, for sure.
Well, you don't want to go to Game 5 tied. I mean, that's a must-win at that point. But, you're looking at a Bucks team that's favored by 4.5 in this game at home. I think that's probably an appropriate number. I think that the Suns are plus 155 on the money line. I think this is a money line game. I don't like the spread either way. The 220 number is, to me, pretty close. But, again, telling you, the over in this series has been atrocious. I got to believe the Suns win this game. I got to believe that Monty Williams has them ready to go and they bounce back. I think this is a team that has a bunch of young players who can get exasperated in big situations. And I think that the 3 days off will do them very well. I mean, you're looking at 3 full days off since you played a basketball game. If you think you played on Sunday, Monday night, Tuesday night, and then all the way to Wednesday night, a 3rd full day of rest, to me, that makes a lot of sense. And I know they shot and watched film over the last 3 days, but not playing a game for 3 full days. Now, for the Bucks, obviously that helps because you're made up of a core of guys that, Giannis has a knee, Drew Holiday and, Tucker. Like, these guys are older guys. Chris Middleton, I think Chris Middleton remains the key figure for Milwaukee. Yeah. He's got to get off early. And I think that's one of the things we saw in that Game 3 win by Milwaukee was Chris Middleton hit that mid-range very early. But, again, I'll go back to DeAndre Ayton. This is the key guy for the Suns. I think his defense on Giannis is critical. As poor as he is a defender, he's gotten much better. And he brings a physicality, and he makes guys work hard on defense. So his presence on the floor is important. He cannot take the stupid foul. He cannot take the tic-tac foul. He cannot, if you're going to foul Giannis to put him on the line, do not let DeAndre Ayton do that.
Yeah.
I just think that the Suns played stupid basketball. And, this DeAndre Ayton catching the ball thing that we tell you about every day, watch this game and watch how much he catches the ball. And you're going to see there's going to be 3-4 times tonight where he just won't catch the ball. He'll be in pick and roll. They'll throw him the ball, and it'll go right through his hands, or he'll bobble it.
And on the road, you need those buckets. I mean, on the road, those are going to be really important. Because oftentimes those passes that he doesn't catch are turnovers. They end up going to the defense. So those are definitely important plays.
I think it's interesting. I want to pick the Suns tonight.
Uh-huh.
If I was betting, I'd bet the Suns on the money line plus 155. But I'm just not confident in it. It is shocking. And see, maybe this should give me a little more confidence. It's stunning to me how bad they were in Game 3.
Yeah, I just think, listen, I think Game 3 wasn't, so there's 2 kind of losses on the road, right? There's the loss where you absolutely played your best basketball and the Bucks just simply beat you, right? This was not that. This was, hey, the Suns played a really crappy basketball game, and yes, the Bucks absolutely stomped them. So, to me, when I look at Game 4, I say to myself, okay, I know for a fact, that the Suns are going to come out and they're going to make it so that that Giannis has to kick. They're going to make that happen. I mean, I just think that that's what they're going to be committed to tonight on defense. They're not going to allow him to get in there and cause all that havoc that he was able to cause in the paint. That's what I think priority number 1 is. Yeah. So I think they're going to be stout on defense tonight. But then number 2, offensively, the ball has got to start moving side to side again. And we talk about this with the Jazz all the time. You can basically have this conversation with any NBA offense in the league. If you watch these games, watch the Suns on offense, and watch, does the ball move from side to side? Are they making passes? Is the ball movement there?
Is there rotation of the basketball?
Yeah, or is it just Chris Paul playing pick and roll, kind of probing and looking for whatever it is that he's looking for?
They need the corner 3. It's a critical part of their offense, as it is with most teams. But defensively, the Suns are doing a really good job of taking that corner 3 away.
Mm-hmm.
But when Giannis gets off and he scores 40 points, they collapse a lot more. And the ball winds up, out at the 3-point line, and you're getting better looks for guys like Pat Connaughton. And Connaughton's going to knock down an open look. He's not going to knock down a contested look.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I think there's just a lot of little things the Suns have to do better. And DeAndre Ayton's at the center of that. He cannot lose his mind mentally like he did in Game 3. He was clearly flustered, frustrated. This game was over at halftime.
Yeah.
And for the Suns, that can't be the case tonight. Hey, I want to get to the Utah Jazz real quick because there was a piece of news that I think a lot of people kind of glossed over yesterday, and that is that the Suns and AT&T Sportsnet renewed for this coming season.
The Jazz and AT&T Sportsnet.
The Utah Jazz and the AT&T Sportsnet renewed for this coming season. And there is no streaming component for their broadcast this year. Again. And the only way that you can get AT&T Sportsnet, basically, The lowest package is $85 a month. Pretty much every cable network in the region carries it. But for $85 a month, I mean, that's a pretty big nut for a lot of families in Utah to be looking at Jazz games on television. And it is really disappointing that you had no ability to find a streaming platform. You had no way to watch games on your phone or your tablet now. You either subscribe to AT&T Sportsnet or you don't watch the games, period.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, again, the only way that the only way that we're able to watch the games is with League Pass. I mean, that's how we've watched the games. So I think that I can't believe that we're in 2021 and we still have to have the conversation about no streaming deal, TV deal, but no streaming deal. How many times do we have to talk about the fact that you're trying to get to urban youth. You're trying to get to the younger generation. Younger generation isn't at home watching TV. I got news for you. They're not. They're not at home watching TV.
No.
They have smartphones, really nice smartphones, that they know how to stream things on. It's very easy for them. They get it. They're technologically savvy. This isn't the 60s anymore, So these kids know how to watch these games on their phone, and frankly, they want to. So when we talk about, hey, do the Suns have the money to go and sign that big free agent, or do the Suns have the publicity around the organization to, attract a big free agent? This goes into that.
Jazz?
Yeah, the Jazz. Having the young fan base have...
We're a mess. You said the Suns, not once, but twice.
Okay.
Do the Jazz have the extra revenue stream that comes with streaming? And the answer is no. The only way to watch a Jazz game online is to be an AT&T subscriber. And the lowest package that includes the Jazz is $85 a month. And what teenager, what young 20-something is going to pay $85 a month to watch Jazz games on their phone?
I just don't get why this is so difficult for organizations.
Yeah.
Why is this so hard? Why can't you just say, hey, we're the Utah Jazz. We know that we have a lot of young folks who are in our fan base. Why would you not have a streaming deal? I would honestly even be thrilled if they, I know this is kind of radical, but I'd honestly be happy if they said, yeah, we're actually going to spend the whole season streaming our games on a social media platform, whether that's YouTube or, Twitter, whatever it is.
Does it, yeah.
Whatever it is. I mean, you have to get more modernized with this stuff. And I just think that, we've seen this lesson play out so front and center in the Pac-12 with what they didn't do. And it's crushed them in recruiting and all these other areas. And so for an NBA organization not to have it is just rather mind-blowing to me. I'm just really surprised, honestly. It's just shocking.
Yeah, it is frustrating, and it's why the real issue is that Jazz TV numbers are number one in the NBA. Local television ratings is number one in the NBA. Jazz fans turn out on the TV. What revenue are they missing when you don't have a streaming option? How many people, would pay $2 a month or $2 a game to watch the Jazz on the Jazz website or whatever those creative streaming sources are? The Jazz have to figure that out because they haven't. And it is really frustrating. You look at, what's going on. Google Fiber TV is going away. So that's going to be a big part, of Utah TV. They were doing quite well in Utah, but Fiber TV is going away. The Jazz say they're working on it. I mean, and streaming is a top priority for future seasons. I know Ryan Smith hasn't been able to do all of this immediately. I mean, technology and streaming was clearly not a priority under the Miller family ownership. I would think with a tech guru like Ryan Smith, it would be. When you're that young-minded, and he said he wants to find new ways for fans to stay connected to the team. I think traditional television and satellite TV is not the way to go with that. I think the Jazz do a decent job on Instagram and Twitter. I think that they need to do a better job, frankly. I'm really surprised that this is your best option for this coming season. I'm really surprised with that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I know a lot of Jazz fans are upset about that. Like Brandon Whiteside said, this is horrible news. AT&T Sportsnet is the devil.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. Tanner Plummer says the Jazz need to switch back to K-Jazz or something like that. This is getting ridiculous. The Jazz need a better TV deal.
Yeah,
period.
I mean, seriously, like $85 a month. Like, that's a lot, especially, and I'm not saying that every single person who listens to this show is, jobless and in a horrible spot life-wise, but I don't care who you are. Like, $85 a month for TV is a lot. Trust me, I know. I pay
to watch the games on your phone or tablet.
I mean, I pay $90 a month to DirecTV for the MLB package and NBA League Pass, and then whatever the package of channels I get. So I feel like for $90 I do get a lot from DirecTV, and I'm lucky enough that the League Pass obviously allows me to watch the Jazz. But I don't know, man. I just think that the Jazz are just kicking a lot of viewership to the curb, frankly.
It's a missed opportunity. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't think I just think it was a matter of time.
Yeah.
I think the Jazz, what I'm hoping is that the Jazz will follow the Yankees model or the Chicago Cubs model and start their own TV network and have agreements with your local cable carriers, Dish Network, DirecTV. That's what needs to happen so that you can control your streaming product, so that you control 100% of your revenue. Jazz fans are incredibly loyal. And they will watch, and they do watch. Again, they're the top-rated team in the NBA in local television numbers. But you've got to get this streaming content situation figured out, and it can't be $85 a month.
Yeah,
that's asking too much. In Utah, where we value families, and we have families where you have 3-4 children in a household, and a lot of times more than that. With 2 parents and a mortgage and a grocery bill and life. I mean, it's not cheap to raise a family these days. Look at gas prices right now.
Yeah.
We're rapidly pushing $4. Do you really think somebody can afford $85 a month year round so that you can watch Jazz games? Like, that doesn't seem sensible to me. And it's really unfortunate that this is where we are. But this is where we are. So I have to believe that the Jazz are going to explore their own TV network. That's what makes sense to me.
Yeah, I agree.
It makes you the most money by far. So I don't know. By the way, Elijah Hughes is working with Chris Brickley.
I like it a lot.
What do you like about Elijah Hughes?
I like his handle. I like his shot. I like the way I like the way he goes about playing the game. I mean, we didn't see him on the floor a lot, but just based on the videos that are coming out about what he's doing with Chris Brickley, he's working on his one-on-one game. He's working on, his handle and transitioning his handle into a shot in a lot of different ways. And I think that, the Jazz, as we've talked about so much, really need that solution in terms of who's going to back up Donovan Mitchell. Because Jordan Clarkson, doesn't really back up anybody. Jordan Clarkson is a guy who comes into the game and just gets buckets for you. Whereas I feel like Elijah Hughes could really kind of come in and be, a nice, 15, 18 minutes a night kind of guy while Donovan is sitting, and I think if he can give you 10, 12, big night 15, that would be awesome for this team. That's the kind of young depth that they really need. And I think that, Chris Brickley has a proven track record of taking guys who seemingly are young and rather average in terms of NBA talent and turning them into guys who can be productive for you.
Yeah, and you don't go to Chris Brickley to be a third-string 14th guy off the bench. Like, that's just not why you pay Chris Brickley the money you pay him. And watching Elijah work with Chris Brickley, it's all out there. I retweeted it yesterday. It is I think Elijah Hughes, and this is just my opinion. I think he's a guy that you have to count on. He's a guy to me that when you are this cash strapped, I think Elijah is a guy that's got the offensive firepower and ability and skill set. He's got a major bag of tricks. He's got
Sorry, I was reading the headline on SportsCenter there. My bad. Sorry. Yeah.
It's a bag of.
I got you. My bad. Yeah. Sorry. My bad.
Didn't mean to distract you from doing nothing. Elijah Hughes is a guy that's got all the tricks of the trade. And to me, he's one of those guys that when you're landlocked and you're salary cap strapped, Elijah Hughes is a guy that can do a lot of things offensively. The question's always going to be defensive want to. He's got the body and the skills and the footwork to be a good defender. I think you have to develop him. This is the Quinn Snyder problem right here. Quinn, as most NBA head coaches, does not like playing young guys that are unproven. And we saw that this year. Well, you're going to have to do it this coming year. I mean, guys like Oney and Hughes have to get significantly more minutes. And if Mike, Conley's not on this team, guys like Trent Forrester are going to have to get significantly more minutes. They now become valuable pieces you have to bring back. So seeing that Elijah Hughes is in the lab with Chris Brickley, I think that's a really good sign if you're a Jazz fan.
Well, yeah, I think it's a great sign if you're a Jazz fan in terms of his development, but I also think it's a sign of things to come. I think, to your point, guys don't go to Chris Brickley, because they are expecting to sit this whole season, Like, he's going to Chris Brickley to make sure that his game is where it needs to be because, he understands that there's, going to be better opportunity for him this year, and he needs to take advantage of that because, yeah, he's on a team that, frankly, it has championship aspirations, and they don't have time for guys who are just going to come in and turn the ball over and not make shots. So he understands that very clearly.
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of pain coming up. This next season, there's going to be some real difficulties. The next month is critical. I mean, if the NBA Finals end in the next week, which there's a real good chance that happens, that's what I think you're going to see a lot more movement around the NBA because really it's an unwritten rule that you don't make major announcements or hires during the NBA Finals so that you don't take away from them and the spotlight remains fully on them. That's why you saw a rush of head coach hirings, and you're hearing rumors of more head coaching hires, Willie Green specifically, but there's going to be some time. A guy yesterday I was talking to about the NBA said that he believes Chauncey Billups may lose his job in Portland as soon as the NBA Finals are over because that has not blown over in Portland or across the NBA. Major moves like that don't happen during the NBA Finals because you don't want Woj bombs going on during Game 4 tonight.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you're seeing things are kind of at a standstill. But having said that, I think this just goes to show you the Jazz are focused on the basketball product right now, like this TV thing. All of this stuff that's going on with the Jazz, I think is going to have to wait a few weeks. And a lot of you were in on the TV thing, talking about how Larry H. Miller created, Tanner Plummer saying he created K-Jazz for this reason. K-Jazz is not a TV network. When I say a TV network, I mean a network that is exclusively 100% all Jazz content that is a revenue stream that is catering to Jazz fans across the country. That is all over local TV and in the mountain region. You would think that would not be that difficult to do. You're not going to be Yes Network or WGN where you're carried across the country.
Right.
But there's no reason that channels like, a Jazz TV network can't be on places like DirecTV, Dish Network, can't be on your local cable provider. To me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's going to have to wait a year. I don't know that you can put that kind of deal together in 6 months, which essentially is the time that Ryan Smith has had control of this team. So I have to believe that that's what they're doing. In the meantime, they got to figure out this salary cap situation because there was also a big Twitter debate yesterday about, well, let Mike Conley leave. We'll spend his money elsewhere. Again, I would just remind you, if Mike Conley leaves, you're not spending his money anywhere because you're over the cap and you're paying the luxury tax. So you're not going to reallocate that money to somebody else. That money just means you're not paying the luxury tax, quite as much luxury tax. So you're in a tough situation. And if I'm a Jazz fan, I think you just have to hope that Mike walks and you bite the bullet on that for the next coming season. Because that's what's best for you. You want to win 3 championships in 10 years? Mike Conley has to walk away from this team. And I know that's difficult, but we'll see what happens. Brandon Whiteside says we need it on Sling or YouTube TV. Yeah, I think YouTube TV would be great.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Cody Strickland says we need to trade Donovan, JC, and Rudy and get Trent Forrest some good structure pieces that will make him the superstar we all know he can be. Fire Quinn Snyder for letting him loose in the playoffs. For not letting him loose in the playoffs. Okay.
Well done, sir.
Okay. Omar says, good morning, Monty and Skippy. Go Jazz.
Thank you. Thank you. A Skippy reference. I like it.
Cody says, Jazz beat Jazz, Bees, Grizzlies, BYU of Weber, Utah State channel with behind-the-scenes action.
Hold on, wait. Did I hear that right, that Utah wasn't in that list? Was that a low-key, under-the-radar
No,
Utah?
U of U.
Oh, U of U was in the list.
But
okay.
see, the problem is BYU has their own TV network. It's called ESPN.
Have you guys ever heard of ESPN? I don't know that I've heard of that. Have you?
Vaguely, it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But, Studio 69 at BYU TV, I mean, I watch every day. BYU has the idyllic TV situation. Their games are on ESPN. They have BYU TV.
But why is that, though?
Because they have their own network.
And they had a sense of urgency, understanding who they were and where they wanted to go. And I just think that that's priceless.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting. I really do. I think the Jazz are in an interesting setup. You need that behind-the-scenes stuff. You need that mic'd up in practice. It's what the Lakers have in L.A.
Yeah.
The Lakers have that exact situation in L.A. Problem was they had carriage issues. They couldn't get on DirecTV because of the fee structure, and they couldn't agree. And the Jazz need that situation. And because you get inside Dodgers, which is a show, you get inside Lakers.
And people want that stuff.
There's a thirst for it. I wanna go home with Donovan Mitchell. I want to see what Donovan Mitchell does on game day and practice day. I want to see what practices are like. I want a daily Jazz TV show that I can turn to get the latest on Donovan Mitchell's injury. I want, the Kobe series that was on HBO or was that Showtime or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I want that with Donovan Mitchell. I want inside, exclusive content. Fuck, man, it's what Pac-12 Network has never been.
Yeah.
It's
what we used to get on NBC Sports Network with the Notre Dame series and Liverpool and all these unique things. I mean, it's what we get with the F1 series on Netflix, Drive to Survive. You get things on that series that you don't get obviously just watching F1 races on ESPN. So I just think that I tend to agree with you that Ryan Smith has only been in the organization for 6 months, so it's probably unfair to criticize him. But at the same time, I do believe that, he is a tech guy. I mean, he's come from that background, so this is right up his alley. And I just feel like, I hope for the sake of the organization that they're able to roll out like a robust package. Like, yes, your own TV network, yes, exclusive content, yes, streaming, all of that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if next year there was a whole thing about it. But that just feels like a long way away at this point.
Driftwood's back. Driftwood says BYU is irrelevant. They are independent. They'll never play for anything meaningful. Okay. Well, if they had won one more game last year, would they have played for something meaningful? Yeah, I think they would have. So I'm telling you, is it difficult for BYU to get to where they want to go as an independent? Yes. Would they like to be in a conference? Yes. Will they be in a conference eventually? Yes. Can they win a national championship as an independent? Yes. Will they? Probably not. It's incredibly difficult. And their schedule's amazing. Tom Holmoe is arguably the best scheduler in the country. I mean, to do what he's done with BYU's situation, remarkable. Yeah. To have an ESPN deal that is renewed, remarkable. To have BYU TV, remarkable. To have guys like Zach Wilson, remarkable. I mean, I'm telling you, this idea, and I can only say this so many times, that BYU's irrelevant, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And you're
just hating.
Or you're just hating.
Yeah, you could just be hating.
And hey,
fine.
I get it. I totally understand that. I totally understand that. You know, what I think is so interesting is that, you know, that there's always going to be this, TDS, BYU, go back to the Mountain West. See if the WAC will take you. Like, get out of here with that. I mean, I understand why Utah fans have the air of superiority that you do. BYU hasn't beaten Utah since 1936, I think, was the last time they won a game. But BYU's not irrelevant. They're a massive brand. They're a massive revenue-generating organization because they're owned by a massive revenue-generating organization. I'm telling you, BYU is far from.
They're great at business. I mean, that's really what it is. I mean, they may not win as many games as you, but I just think that, with all due respect, there's just no denying that they are able to do some really great things. You know, in terms of their setup. I just don't know how anybody denies that. I mean, the football product, that's obviously, you know, that hasn't quite lived up to it. You know, last year was an awesome year, but before that, it's kind of hard to say that they've ever really been, you know, a true force in the last 10 years, I'd say. So, it is what it is.
Here is BYU's schedule coming up. Arizona at home. The Utes, Saturday, September 11th in Provo. That Arizona game is in Las Vegas. Arizona State in Provo. South Florida Bulls in Provo. Utah State, Aggie Tears in Logan. Boise State in Provo. Baylor Bears, Waco, Texas. Washington State in Pullman. Virginia in Provo. Idaho State in Provo. Georgia Southern in Georgia. And the USC Trojans at the Coliseum in Los Angeles.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
If they win, you know, and I mean, at this point, you'd have to hope that they're bowl eligible.
Wait, I just want to say something real quick. Just want to say something.
Oh, here we go.
It's our first conversation about college football this year.
Yeah.
Just saying, this is the first one. I just want. What do we got? July 14th.
Yeah, it's BYU. It's Driftwood's fault.
Damn it, Driftwood.
It is absolutely.
You're always coming in here and causing chaos, bro.
There'll be a lot more football. There will be a lot of Utes and Cougars, Coug on Coug action. There will be a lot of, you know, Utah, because Utah's going to probably win the South again. And BYU fans are probably going to not be happy about it. But here nor there, great schedule for BYU coming up this year, and hopefully we see a full stadium.
I really think we will. I do think we will.
Get vaccinated.
No, we're not having this conversation. We're not doing it again.
Vaccinated.
Can we talk about something more fun?
More funner.
More funner, please.
Major League Baseball rule changes.
This is a shocking development, in my opinion.
Jake is lazy, so we don't have Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, talking about this.
Shit.
Yeah. Baseball is going to roll back the 7-inning doubleheader. That's going away next year. They say it was specifically for COVID, as was the runner on second base to start extra innings. That's going away. And they are going to limit the shift. And the popular belief is that they're going to say if you're a shortstop or a third baseman, you cannot come on the first base side of second base ever. You cannot position yourself when the pitch is thrown, you have to be on the other side of second base. That's very interesting to me. And I think that will be a good thing for baseball.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think that, you know, baseball is a game that really has taken a beating with how much the shift is being utilized. I mean, again, you could watch any baseball game, even the most random matchup, and you're going to see that the shift probably takes away 2, 3, maybe even 4 just base hits a game, and that can be the difference between winning a game and losing a game, especially with how good pitching is now. I mean, it used to be that, when I was a kid, it used to be that, you could rely on getting, if you were down 5 runs and it was only the third inning, you knew that you were going to be able to, get at least 3, 4 runs and be in the game. But now that's not the case anymore. Now it's like, okay, you get down early, man, you better be able to hit home runs because you're not beating that shift. That's not happening, and so I just think for the game's sake, I think it's great. I wasn't a big fan when shifts started happening. I certainly have not been a big fan of the runner on second base thing, and I just think that, changing the rules back to the way they were brings you back to, in my opinion, the way the game was meant to be played. Having guys in their general area on the field on defense of where they should be. Having the third baseman in right field for a particular hitter just seems, like a stretch, So I'm a big fan of it, but I know others are going to say that, defenses should be able to do whatever they want.
Yeah, and I actually don't believe that they should. I think the shift is bad for baseball. I think 7-inning doubleheaders are bad for baseball. I think trying to shorten the game is bad for baseball. I think telling a manager that he has to have a pitcher face 3 batters is bad for baseball. Do you want to limit mound visits? Okay, cool. Do you want to shorten between innings? Sure, I'm good with that. You don't enforce the batter out of the batter's box thing. Like, if you want the game to be more efficient, go watch another game, in my opinion. Like, the shift is bad for baseball. This whole grip and spider tack BS is bad for baseball. I don't, this whole notion, and I know we've killed this on the show repeatedly.
Yeah.
But this whole idea that baseball needs to be fixed is idiotic. It's moronic. I am not in favor of it. I don't agree with it. I love the game of baseball, and we were talking about this earlier before the show started. I miss feeling that childhood giddiness about the Cubs playing baseball. I miss that love affair that I had with Major League Baseball as a kid. I really miss it. And it's not because I don't know that it's because I've aged out of feeling that way. I don't think it's because I cover baseball for a living and have for many years. Sure, that's changed the way I look at the game. But I think all of this nonsense, I think all of this stupidity with changing the game to placate and satiate a very small portion of the fan base that I don't have time to watch a 3-hour game. Okay, then don't. Don't. You don't have time to watch a 3-hour game? Watch 2 hours and a half then, if that's what you want. Because I don't want 2.5-hour baseball. I want it to take as long as it needs to take.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And to me, Jake, that's what's really frustrating is I feel like we're changing the game of baseball fundamentally.
Yeah.
For a very small group of fans.
Yeah, well, and I think the hypocrisy in it is we're happy to watch 3-hour football games. We're happy to do that. We're happy to watch, 2.5-hour basketball games, right? But we're not happy to watch, 3-hour baseball games because what? It's slower and you don't know the intricacies of baseball?
Yeah.
Whose fault is that? I mean, that's not baseball's fault. Baseball's been going on since, the Stone Ages, it feels like. I mean, baseball has been in the fabric of our country for decades, and I think that I just think that the game doesn't need fixing. It's a brilliant game. It's an easy game to understand, in my opinion. And I think that, like eliminating the shifter as an example just accentuates, what the game is about. Like, think of it this way. When I was growing up, Derek Jeter was in his heyday, right? Derek Jeter was in his prime when I was a kid, when I was 10 years old. And I think about how many of those 3,000-plus hits were little dinkers to right field. How many times did he just flip the ball out to right field for that patented single that he made so famous? Well, he wouldn't be a Hall of Famer if he played in today's era, because the shift takes away that dinker base hit that he made a living on. And so that's the kind of career-changing thing that the shift is. And that's why I like taking it away and bringing the game back to what it's meant to be, because that's how the game should be played. Hitters, you're literally asking a human being, seriously, think about this. You're asking a human being to hit a round ball with a round bat and that ball is moving typically in today's game 95 plus miles an hour. Do you understand how difficult that is? So not only are you asking them to do that, then we're going to say, hey, yeah, by the way, we're going to allow the defense to do whatever they want. So when you do make contact 2.5 or 3 times out of 10 plate appearances, you're only going to get on base like 1 out of every 13 appearances. I mean, that's the insanity of what the shift does. That's why it needs to be removed, in my opinion.
You can fail 7 out of 10 times in Major League Baseball and be elite. That's how difficult the game is. So, yeah, I agree with that. Justin Salas says basketball and football pretty much take 3 hours.
Yeah.
They do. Driftwood says 100% hating I bleed red. Driftwood's a Utah fan.
See, and at least, I can get down with that. I'm fine with that. If you're going to admit that you're hating, okay, that's different. I get it. That's fine. But when we get the guy who's hating but won't admit to it, then, that's when problems come in,
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Giggity says, nothing worse than watching the game on TV and seeing a hardliner up the middle only to see a defender waiting there because of the shift. I agree with that 100%.
Right?
100%. And I'm a passionate baseball fan, and Driftwood also going on saying that baseball is boring, and hey, great, you don't have to watch it. I think I'm not being a dick about that, or I'm not being terse. If you think baseball is boring, you don't have to watch it. There's nothing wrong with saying, yeah, I'm not a fan of baseball, I'm not going to watch it. All right, cool, I respect that.
No issues.
And I think that the most important thing is that when you have a product that's lasted decades, I don't have a problem changing small things. The shift is not a small thing.
Mm-hmm.
Limiting mound visits and pitching changes is not a small thing. And then there's the Astros cheating thing and steroids and this stupid baseball thing. These are all things that are fibrous, that are fundamental to the game of baseball.
Yeah.
And I just think baseball has routinely screwed those things up. So for me, I love baseball. I miss my childhood. I miss feeling about. I miss being a 10-year-old kid. I can't get enough of Leon Durham of the Chicago Cubs. I miss crying about the 1984 Chicago Cubs. You know what I mean? I miss that.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I'll ever get that back. I don't. The last time I cried about a win or a championship, the Chicago Cubs in 2016. I remember where I was. I was sitting on
sitting there.
I was sitting on my recliner in Mesa, Arizona. And it's just shocking that they won the World Series. I couldn't believe it. Before that, it was the Blackhawks winning the Stanley Cup. I remember where I was, standing in my living room, on Anna Way in Westminster, California.
We all remember that Patrick Kane shot.
Those are the moments that I'm talking about. When Walter Payton and the Chicago Bears won a Super Bowl in 1986. That was an emotional moment for me. I miss that about sports. I miss sport. The pandemic, the one thing the pandemic has been very good at is assassinating fandom. Because we've seen, Chelsea winning the Champions League this year, or there just wasn't the fire for it. Today we hear, I'm a huge soccer fan, Lionel Messi, re-signed with Barca today. Okay, cool. Is that going to be a huge story? Probably not here. I miss the passion. I miss, when I went to Europe to see, Chelsea, Liverpool, I being at Stamford Bridge, for the parade and, coronation of Chelsea as the 2015 champions of the Premier League and, screaming Antonio Conte's name. And I miss all of that about Chelsea. I miss that about sports.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that you'll get vaccinated and we'll have full stadiums and we'll play full schedules. And
well, I think we're already seeing full stadiums. I think we're seeing Major League parks are full again. I mean that's been going on. But I agree with you that I think the pandemic is not quite over yet, and I think there's definitely still some fear. So I think it's not the same as it was. I mean, nothing. I feel like it's never going to be the same as it used to be, where you just had just insanity, in terms of the amount of people just going to a game and I just think it's different now.
You know what? I think back to my days here in Salt Lake at 1320 K-Fan, and we used to do a tailgate party at every Utah home game at this apartment building that was across the street from Rice Eccles. And just the passion of that fan base and, talking football and being around people and having a community. There's nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like this year at Jazz games, meeting our listeners and talking to fans at Jazz games, there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
And yet you don't see it often, and I just want normalcy back. And I think football is going to be a big part of that this year. I really hope we see full stadiums. I really hope that this coronavirus thing tamps down and that we figure out how to get more people vaccinated. And I really hope that's a part of it. Casey Finlinson says, my son just spent 2 days playing in a baseball tournament, and although they lost, he wants so much more baseball in his life. It's fun to see his fandom grow.
Yeah.
Ace says, enough about the vaccines. I'll get it when I'm ready. Okay. I see that, and this is the thing that makes me crazy about vaccines. When you're ready, you're never going to be. If you haven't gotten vaccinated, especially here in Utah, if you haven't gotten vaccinated already, when are you going to get vaccinated? It's free. It's readily available. The Delta variant is here. We've seen our cases grow 50%. What are you waiting for? If you die from the coronavirus, you made the choice to die from the coronavirus. If you get sick, if you get really sick from the coronavirus, you made the choice to get sick from the coronavirus, because we know that 99.2% of people that die from coronavirus in June, and that number's up slightly from May, were unvaccinated. They did not get the vaccine. 98.9% of hospitalizations in June were people that were unvaccinated. You made a choice not to get the vaccine, and you got sick and you died by your own choice. That's America. I'm down with that. But why? Why? It's so frustrating to me. It is so frustrating to me. And this bullshit about, long term, we don't know the long term. Stop.
What does long term matter if you're not here?
And by the way, what side effects have we seen from the vast majority of people who got the vaccine? I'm waiting, because there's not one. There's not a major side effect from the vaccine. And it's been 6 months. We'd have seen, there's going to be death. There's not. The vaccines are safe. The people that have the vaccines are not dying, and they're not getting sick. Doesn't mean you're not going to get coronavirus. It means you're not going to get sick. It's a choice. It is a human choice to keep coronavirus around now. That's where we've come to with this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing to me that people are we don't know the long term. There's 5 people saying the side effects are gnarly. What side effects? Tell me the side effects. Where is it? There isn't. I was watching Fox News yesterday, which I don't know what I was thinking, because I don't think I'll ever turn that network on again after what I saw yesterday.
It's embarrassing, some of the stuff they're running out right now.
There was a guy on Fox News yesterday, I'm not even going to say who it was, that was saying we are killing 20-somethings by giving them the vaccine. And the host on Fox News yesterday agreed with him. Yeah, absolutely right. We're killing our 20-somethings. We sent them to Vietnam in the 60s and 70s. We sent them to Iraq in the 90s, and now we're killing them with this vaccine. Where is the generation of 20-somethings that are dying from the vaccine?
I'm sitting here.
Where are you? Where are the 20-somethings who have died after getting the vaccine? Where is that happening? Why the disinformation campaign? Where are the 20-somethings that are dead? I turn on I flip around when I watch news, right? So I'm watching Fox News. I flip on Newsmax. I'll never, ever, ever, ever watch Newsmax again. Ever. Yesterday on Newsmax, or was that 2 days ago? Whenever, last 2 days. On Newsmax, you have one of their major personalities saying the coronavirus is made up. It's a conspiracy. It was made up to damage Donald Trump. The vaccines are not real. They're only in place to make Donald Trump look bad.
Infowars.com.
And I'm like, hey, man, do you realize that Donald Trump is still out there right now asking for credit for the vaccines? Do you realize that he got vaccinated? And if Donald Trump was still president, we wouldn't have this vaccine issue. I think a vast majority of people, I think we'd be in the 90 percentile of people vaccinated if Donald Trump was still president.
And why is that?
Because the places where the vaccines are low, where the number of people vaccinated are low, are strongholds in places where Donald Trump won the election. Where the majority of people in the areas where vaccination levels are low are Trump supporters. The places where vaccinations are high and the rates of infections are low are Joe Biden territory. And that, to me, says we'd be in the 90 percentile if Donald Trump were president. Because the people not getting vaccinated now, I mean, you're making a choice, and whatever you're like, oh, we're killing 20-somethings. No evidence of that. Oh, there's long-term side effects. No evidence of that. We don't know the long-term. No evidence. We absolutely know the long-term. It's been 6 months, and by any measure, if in 6 months we have not seen a single, not one major conclusion that there is long-term damage from taking the vaccines. Not one. None. We'd have seen it already. So these are all excuses. You're making a choice right now to not prevent yourself from dying from COVID. And you're making a choice to not have full football stadiums, to not have full baseball stadiums, to not be able to go out to dinner. The idea that we're, like everybody crushed California for mask mandates. It's one of the healthiest states as far as coronavirus goes now. Because they had mask mandates, and there are counties in the state of California that are 90% vaccinated. Yet San Francisco's a cesspool. Well, not of coronavirus, it's not. Because San Francisco County is largely vaccinated. It makes me crazy. Like, I don't know what I was ever thinking watching Fox yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I've largely stopped watching Fox and CNN. I will occasionally watch MSNBC, but I've largely given up on mainstream news. Like, I'll follow Reuters. I'll follow AP. Like, I'm very selective about where I get my news from. I'll never watch OAN. I watched it one time. I'll never make that mistake again. But I will not, for the most part, I will not watch mainstream networks. I won't.
Yeah, I just think there's too much agenda behind it. It's not, I mean, it's very hard to find a source that is just like, hey, this is the news.
Yeah.
Here's what it is.
It is amazing to me that I'm this whole thing about, do you realize one of the major sound bites we play on this show is, oh, just treat it like the flu. Mm-hmm. The same people who won't get the coronavirus vaccine won't get the flu vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
What do you view this the same as the flu?
No, you shouldn't. Like, this is the guy who told you to drink bleach to get rid of the coronavirus. Why didn't it, like, Donald Trump deserves credit. Let's be very clear about this. Donald Trump deserves credit for getting the vaccine ball rolling. Absolutely. Get the vaccine ball rolling. He had no plan to roll it out. He had no plan to distribute it.
Hydroxychloroquine.
He had no plan to vaccinate Americans. He had no plans to share it internationally. Like, this nationalism thing where everything that we do is for Americans only is killing Americans when it comes to coronavirus. Donald Trump absolutely deserves credit for getting the vaccines funded and into development. Joe Biden deserves credit for deploying the vaccines, for getting them out there. Like, the other thing I saw on Fox News last night, which is amazing, Tucker Carlson's talking about how, oh, they're going to show up at your front door and stick a needle in your arm whether you want it or not. And next, they're going to show up at your front door and take your guns. Okay, nobody is going door to door in this country with needles in their possession. You understand that, right? Like, this door-to-door thing is for one thing and one thing only, to educate unvaccinated people and give them pamphlets. And you know what the funny thing is? Look where they're canvassing and look at the vaccination numbers climbing. It's working. More people, when you educate people about the reality of vaccines, oh, we don't know the long-term side effects. There are no long-term side effects. Oh, it's poison. It's not poison. People are not dying from the vaccines. Like, that's the other thing you hear on like Newsmax. These they refer to them as the poisonous vaccines. Remember when we were calling it the Chinese flu?
The Kung flu.
And, well, as a matter of policy, Donald Trump referred to the coronavirus as the Chinese flu. And now on Newsmax, they call it the poisonous vaccines. And it's like, do you realize you're killing people, man? Like, with that kind of information, you are killing people. There is no science. There is no facts. There is no research. There is nothing that says 20-somethings are dying from taking the vaccine.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. It's freaking made up. There's nobody canvassing in this country sticking needles in people's arms and asking them if they have guns. There's nobody doing that. Like, it's comical to me. Before we get to effing DoorDash and dog DNA. Grubhub. DoorDash the same. Let's read a couple of these. Jeremy Bolton says Trump doesn't deserve credit. Come on. He told everyone to drink bleach. Truth. Justin Salas says, I disagree. I really think if Trump were president, we would have Dems not wanting to get vaccinated. That's probably true. I can't disagree with you on that,
And
Justin.
that's an issue, too. Like, I think that's a great point. You know, the party line thing is as bad as it's ever been. And I think that, you know, we just have this ridiculousness. And that's why, see, and this is where the conversation starts to go to, you know, you want to talk about 20-somethings not being engaged politically. Well, you wonder why. You know, you wonder why that happens. Well, it's pretty obvious, right? You know, you can't have a conversation about anything without it getting to life and death and F you and F this and you're an awful person. And that's why I just think that, you know, this, you know, the in my opinion, I think the Republican Party has more blame here, but it's not like the Democrats are perfect by any stretch of the imagination. They do some pretty dumb things as well. So that's why I say there's not really, you know, I didn't vote for Joe Biden because I felt like he was some American hero or something. I voted for Joe because he's the lesser of two evils, in my opinion. Now, can we disagree with that or disagree on that, but have a productive conversation? I don't know. I really don't know. I've yet to really, outside of you, I've yet to really have a conversation with anybody about politics. So I just think that right now, whether it's vaccines or this $3.5 trillion package the Dems are trying to pass or whatever it is, there's always just this battle between Republicans and Democrats. And until that changes, this country won't be any better off. And that's just the cold truth, I feel like.
I agree. Jeremy Bolton says, so he just happened to be sitting on fat arse as president when all the real scientists, epidemiologists developed the vaccine. Well, I mean, but that's the credit you get when you're president.
Yeah, I mean,
whether
listen,
he did or not,
won the election.
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
he won the first election that put him in office, and he was sitting there. It is what it is.
Omar says pro-Trump 2024. Good luck with that. What about August 13th? Cody Strickland says, so what if, and I'm saying if, the vaccine causes cancer, birth defects, early deaths, because the FDA hasn't proved it to be safe. I'm going to keep going. And it's been here for only 6 months. Will you guys take credit for helping kill them? But you would
Where's
know.
the evidence?
You would know that now.
Where's the death rate in the vaccine if it's killing people at that kind of rate and it's causing cancer? Where's the evidence?
And it's causing birth defects. Don't you think if we'd have seen vaccinated women giving birth to, you know, children with deficits and issues, you don't think we'd have seen that by now? You think pregnant women didn't get vaccinated?
You think the federal government is pushing a vaccine without understanding the risks or understanding like what could happen?
And by the way, do you know how many people around the world have taken the
That's
Pfizer
the other
vaccine?
thing too. I'm glad you brought that up. Like, it's not like the Pfizer vaccine and the J&J and all that are just in our country. I mean, you're talking about globally not having issues. Like, let's stop playing it's causing cancer game, because it's not. It's not.
I don't know. Jeremy Bolton says, Cody, there's nothing different in the vaccine that isn't in all other vaccines we already have. There's not some secret, mysterious ingredient that no one knows about. And that's the other thing. anyway, that's not true. There were shipments going out in December. Okay. No. Anyway, the issue with the distribution, do you understand that Donald Trump had no plan on how to distribute the Pfizer vaccine? You understand they had nowhere to store the vaccine. You have to store it in a specific freezer that is designed to store vaccines. They had no warehousing. They had no way to do this. That was the issue. You can't just take it from Pfizer, put it on a truck, send it to Poughkeepsie, and we'll meet you at the Denny's in Poughkeepsie. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan based on saturation of coronavirus, and you have to have a formula and a plan to roll out a vaccine, and Donald Trump didn't have that. And why is that? Because he had no staff in place whose job it was to protect the country from this situation. And when this situation happened, to have a plan in place on the books already to roll out vaccines. He didn't have that in place. There's no arguing that. He himself admits he closed his pandemic office. It's not even arguable, Driftwood. Come on. And I have no problem with people being Trump supporters, but at least be realistic. The guy lied through his teeth for 4 years. And then now, 4.5 years at this point, just continues to tell lies. Stop with that. Scientifically, vaccines are a simple concept. Yes, they are. It's not besides the microchip that Bill Gates injected into everybody. Do you hear yourselves with this?
Sometimes I think I just say shit. Sample what comes out of my mouth.
Omar says Democratic cities are a dump due to Biden administration to defund the police. The Biden administration has not defunded the police in any way, shape, or form. The police have not been
another
defunded.
Fox News rhetoric.
That is
It's another Fox News line.
That's just not accurate. That's just not accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Thank you.
I'm pissed at Grubhub.
Why?
Yesterday was National French Fry Day.
Uh-huh.
And I love French fries. So I ordered Five Guys French fries on Grubhub.
I want it.
There's a Five Guys 12 minutes from my front door.
Okay.
Hour and a half later.
Hour and a half later?
Hour and a half it took to get here. Okay, it's National French Fry Day. They're busy. The person you can track your Grubhub order on the app. So I'm watching the person make 2 other deliveries. I'm third in line. Okay, I'm down with that. Now all of a sudden they get here, and that was interesting. Why the woman who dropped them off, essentially walked really fast up to the door, dropped him, and then walked really fast back to her car. Usually I don't pay attention to that. But I go upstairs, and I open the door, pick up the bags, and I immediately notice that one of the bags is open and torn. And I'm like, okay, Five Guys has a sticker they put on their bags when you order delivery service to seal the bag closed. And if you've ever ordered Five Guys French fries, you know that it comes in a tall cup that overflows with French fries, and then homeboy that's making the French fries scoops up fries and pours an entire scoop of fries on top of that cup inside the bag and fills it about a quarter of the way.
On top of the burgers, typically, to keep them warm.
So there were no fries in the bottom of the bag. And, the cup was probably only 3/4 full. And there were 1,001 napkins in that bag.
I'll try to stay calm and not curse.
And the label was unfurrowed. So you ate my French fries. The lady ate my French fries.
That's what fucking ticks me the fuck off!
You ate my food, you lizard.
So
what are you doing?
Let's recap. Yesterday on the show, if you watched the show, you know that we told you a story about how, mother-in-law wanted French fries. Now, yesterday, Grubhub got hungry and wanted French fries. So what is it about you, your fries, and other people eating your fries? How does that happen?
I don't know. I do not know. But Short Sheet last night on Twitter, gave me really solid advice about how to handle my mother-in-law eating my fries.
Did he? Mm-hmm. Okay.
He said the mother-in-law thieving fries, got to drive her ass straight to the airport and drop her off.
You're welcome.
Next time, now I know.
Hey.
I don't know what it is. I will not order from Grubhub again. I won't.
I've never had an issue with DoorDash, just saying.
I am an Amex customer. And via Amex, because I have a
black card. I'm a badass.
So I get free Uber Eats with my American Express card.
So that's why I see.
What?
I see. So isn't Uber Eats partnered with Grubhub? Is that right?
Are they?
I thought they were. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I'm hoping not. You know what this tells me, dude? Don't order food. Make your food. I have really lovely spinach ravioli up in my refrigerator right now. I have smoked pork chops from the weekend. I was going to say,
you're not about to say you have lovely spinach in the fridge.
I have smoked pork chops from the weekend. Mm-hmm. We found the best Killer Dave's rye bread again at Harmon's last night. Like, I have everything I need. Why am I ordering food?
Don't know.
Because I'm lazy. And I was really busy at work yesterday. And so typically, like I have a Caesar salad kit in my fridge right now that I can make. Like, there's no reason to order food. And it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate that happened.
It is. It's frustrating.
It really wrecked it. And by the way, then I reach out to Grubhub and they're like, no, we won't refund it. The food was ordered and delivered. If the food is delivered, we're not going to refund it. So I tweeted at Grubhub yesterday, and then they issued a full refund. Like, it's just really, it's really frustrating. Fat Jesus says, okay, or hear me out on this. Get in your car and get the fries yourself. Right.
Wow.
But I'm an American, and I'm lazy.
Here's what's going to happen, Tonto.
So I got on my phone, and I ordered fries to be delivered to my front door. And I paid handsomely for it. Mm-hmm. $35 for 2 large fries.
Damn.
By the way, notice did the lady that ate my fries eat the like jalapeno smoking hot whatever?
The Cajun fries.
The Cajun fries?
Nope.
No.
It's really unfair.
Yeah, that bag was nicely sealed up. Had ketchup in it, like fry sauce in it. Everything was good.
Yeah.
The bomb ass Five Guys regular French fries most of the way eaten. It's not surprising.
I don't give a fuck.
And I don't care why you ate them. Oh, you're hungry? Get a job.
Jerk.
Anyway, no, I'm being a jerk now.
Okay. All right.
Omar says both parties. No.
No, we're not going back to Omar.
Casey says pizza is my only delivery. I get food-wise, Driftwood. At all of the rest, I go get it. Driftwood says I would never trust delivery. If I want food, I go my ass to the store. It's National French Fry Day.
Okay. I just want to say this about Driftwood. Some of the comments are funny. Other ones piss me off. And then, there's just the random one. So, that one's kind of funny to me.
Cody Strickland's really upset with us.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
He's got a legit beef.
Okay, what's his beef?
I'm pissed at you guys.
Okay. What are you pissed about?
For not admitting that Grocock is a missing person. And it is a true concern to the people, and he needs to be found.
Yeah.
We talked about Grocock yesterday. You were too busy eloping or getting married or whatever to be on the show. So, we definitely spent about 5 minutes talking about the fact that Grocock has gone missing.
You just, Cody, maybe next time don't pick happiness and sex over this show, and you'll know what's going on.
Yeah.
So, hey, it is what it is. Cody Strickland also says, if I have a few drinks, I will use Grubhub. Don't drink and drive. Exactly right. Exactly right. Monty, Casey says, Monty, she left with 3/4 because it was regular. If it were Cajun, they would have been gone. Well, no.
See what you did there.
Cody Strickland, yes. Cody Strickland says, you both seen the pictures of her. You know why I got married. And finally, let's talk about dog poop. This is a pet peeve of mine. As is eating my French fries, right? Mm-hmm. This is a pet peeve of mine. I hate when people let their dog drop a deuce on my front yard and they don't pick it up. Because my wife, being an environmentalist, always has poop bags, and we always pick up our dog poop. Always. Not once or twice we leave it. No. We always pick it up. I have picked up my dog poop with a leaf. I pick up my dog poop.
And he will every single time.
And here in Daybreak, they have garbage cans and dog bags everywhere. There's no excuse to leave it. And yet, they do. Mm-hmm. In Israel, they passed a new law where if you have a dog, you must have it DNA tested and deliver the DNA result to the authorities. Because when your dog burns a deuce and you don't pick it up, the authorities are going to pick up that dog doo-doo, and they're going to DNA test it, and they coming for that ass.
I started having second thoughts.
I love this idea. So in Israel, if you do not pick up after your dog, it's a crime.
Yeah.
Too much? Too little? What do you think?
I think that would never fly in our country, but I love the concept of it. Yeah, I hate the go on a hike on trail and then you see like multiple massive piles of, crap from the big dog that's ahead of you. I hate that. I hate when someone's walking around the neighborhood and they crap on the front lawn and they don't pick it up. I mean, I just don't, it's just not, it's disrespectful, So, I mean, I love the concept of this. Do I think it would ever work in our country? No, probably not. I don't know that would ever be able to get passed.
Well, in Israel, what they're saying they're going to do is if you do not pick up your dog poop, they're going to come to your house and shoot your dog.
And when I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Actually, that's a lie. I made that part up. But don't do that. I wish that would happen in this country. And I wish that, you know what I wish? I wish I could take a picture of somebody not picking up their dog poop. Like, so I want to see your dog burning a deuce and then you walking away, and I should be able to turn that into the cops and you should get a ticket.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Right? Like, but seriously, if you're not going to pick up your dog poop, I should be able to turn
I just think it's part of dog ownership. It is what it is. Like, if you have a big dog, expect big poops. You got a little dog, little poops.
When you broke up with that girl by text and she flew home to be comforted, she took your old dog with her, and that dog took a dump on the plane.
Yeah, dude. I mean, hey, that's what I'm saying. Big dog, big poop. It is what it is.
I can't believe you let that dog go on a plane.
It wasn't up to me. It wasn't even my choice.
Oh, that's right. You broke up with her by text before that. Driftwood says, Jake, I should stop. Jake said, that never gets old for me. I hope you know.
Yeah,
that.
I know.
Jake, the feeling is mutual. A lot of shit you say pisses me off too, Driftwood said.
Yeah, at least we can come to an agreement on something, Driftwood,
You
I piss you off, you piss me off, but we all share good laughs. It is what it is,
All right. Cougs up.
fucking ass.
No. It was a joke. I was kidding. Justin Salas says, yes, I literally yelled at some lady yesterday. Why the hell do you think you can let your dog poop on my lawn?
Don't you know who I am?
Yeah, I'm Shiva, the god of dog killers. Cody Strickland says, I love seeing people walk by my house and their dog poops on my lawn. So thanks, peeps. Exactly. Justin Salas says, no, put them in jail. I have had clean my shoes off one too many times in my life. Man, that's the worst. That is the worst. Now, I'm fortunate I married a goddess. My wife on a regular basis, so we have two little guys, and all they do is poop. But my wife on a regular basis picks up poop in our backyard like twice a day. The worst thing in the world is picking wet dog poop off the bottom of the tread of your shoe. There is nothing worse than that.
Especially when you didn't know it was on your front lawn from someone else's dog.
James Knight says, I suspect Growcock and Driftwood are the same person, but both knobs. Wow. Because Growcock, he's the American hero. He's the hero. Okay, I'm starting over. My bad. Because Growcock, he's the hero America deserves, but not the one it needs right now.
Let's go.
So we'll search for him because he can take it.
Let's go. Yes.
Dark Knight,
yes.
baby.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Love it. Brandon Whiteside says, what's up with all these people that nowadays don't leave their dogs at home? This didn't happen 5-10 years ago. I know, because everybody thinks they can be a dog owner, right? No, you can't be like, you need to get your dog to the vet and get them their shots, and you need to get them snipped, and you need to walk them and play with them and love them and nurture them and pick up their poop. Okay, I feel better.
Because I'll drop that motherfucker.
I feel better. That was like a bloodletting or a poop letting. There is nothing worse than picking poop out of your shoes. Nothing.
Yeah, it's awful. It's horrible.
That's the worst. And you know the other thing, I probably, you're never going to have kids, so I don't know why it matters, but I hate the smell of poop.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is, and I'm not saying anybody loves the smell of poop. Okay, well I love the smell of my own poop. Like when you drop you drop a nuke, you turn around and you're in awe of what's in the bowl. I love that. But other people, or like my, well, my dogs, or like when you're wiping somebody's butt.
Okay, no, I don't. No, I don't. Actually, no, I don't.
Well, wait. If you ever decide to procreate and actually park your car in a driveway, what you're going to see is that babies come from that. When two people fall in love and they want to be close and they want
That's pretty much self-explanatory.
Their souls to be one, and then you plant a seed in the garden and out pops Jimmy.
You still never talk sometimes.
Yeah, you shouldn't. The point is, wait until your kid. I've wiped your butt. I hope you know that.
Okay, cool. Why does that matter?
It's disgusting. I hate human feces.
Okay,
like it
everybody
makes me gag.
does.
No, I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, look, I've seen videos. Anyway, no, the point is, listen. The point is, like, I have
simple days.
I have a terrible gag reflex when I'm picking up poop. It's the worst. Like it is like it's terrible.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm going to the dentist in an hour.
That sucks.
Now, I'm not going to the dentist to get work done. I'm going to the dentist because the oral hygienist is hot. No, I'm not. Actually,
We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to the dentist because our adult brace is uncouth. I'm actually going.
Uncouth? I don't think they're uncouth. I think that they're you just don't see it as much because I think people are more serious about it with their kids now.
Yeah, I don't have crooked teeth or anything. I just have like spaces in my teeth. I have I'm tired of picking food out of my teeth.
So, okay, here's the question then. So today when you go to the dentist, you're going to talk to him about that, I'm assuming, right?
Yes. And I'm going to get my teeth whitened.
Okay, so what are you going to ask them about? What are your concerns with it, or what are you trying to understand with it?
Well, I bought a water pick.
Right. Yeah.
So I've had a water pick for a month, I guess it is now, or whatever. Call it what you want, recently. And it's made a huge difference, right? They had a 2-for-1 sale at Costco on them. And so I water pick at least once a day. Yesterday, twice a day. After I ate the French fries, I actually went upstairs and water picked. And then I did it before I went to bed last night. And like my teeth don't hurt anymore. Mm-hmm. Like I have a space in between two molars where I lost a molar in back, so I have a space there, and my teeth are coming together there. And so I get food stuck in there, and if I don't use a flosser or a water pick, like my gum gets inflamed.
Yeah.
And so it hurts. But now with this water pick, that never happens.
Mm-hmm.
That never happens. So, and by the way, not eating heavy, like terse red meat also makes it much easier on your teeth.
Yeah.
So my teeth are in great shape health-wise. I'm tired of fighting it.
Right.
And I have a bunch of money on my healthcare spending account that if I don't use it, basically every 18 months I lose a portion of it.
Okay.
So I'm going to use it. Like you, my friend, need to get new glasses. You'll never use it. You have an HSA, right?
Yeah, I have one. Yeah.
Why don't you use it? So I'm going to use it at the dentist. I'm going to get whitening, and I'm going to talk to him about getting braces.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I will say that braces are not always the most fun to deal with when you're in it, but they're worth it.
I'm hoping Invisalign works. Now, maybe I'm an Invisalign candidate.
Hopefully. That'd be ideal. I mean, I went through, obviously, as you know, I went through the whole braces thing, and it was pretty brutal at times.
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah,
there's pain.
It's not fun.
I know you get headaches, and you got to do the rubber band thing. And
yeah, it's not fun. But, at the end of the day, you have straight teeth, and everything's good.
Yeah, my guy Will Smith, the late, great Will Smith, used to, have rubber bands, and we'd play the Bands That Make Her Dance song. And, I miss that guy. But, yeah, so we'll see. I'm going to get my teeth whitened, and we're going to talk about orthodontics.
Okay. I like it.
Would you do it?
I mean, I think Would I do it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably I would. I mean, if you really care about it that much, yeah. I mean, I think, I think the teeth whitening thing will be good. That'll be fun, and then I think you got to just see. I don't know. It's really just a question of how bad, like, how much do you care about that? Like, does it mean a lot to you to have, like, super straight teeth? Or like to have the correction done. I mean, if it means that much to you, then yes, do it. Like, there's no reason not to.
Spaces. I want that space in the back filled, and I have one in front.
Yeah, so
there's a food trap there.
I think you should say that to them and see what they say. I mean, I would assume that braces take care of that, but again, I'm modern dentistry. There's a lot of tricks that they have now that they didn't used to have.
And the other thing is, right now is not the best time for me. Like I've put a lot of money out on a major side project. We have put a lot of money out on a major side project. We'll tell you about it in about 6 weeks. So I don't have like 10 G's just sitting around.
Right.
It's just a huge outlay of cash on this project.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, maybe it would be wise to wait. We're in the middle of July. You've got basically 5.5, 6 months left in this year. The other thing with braces too is, like, because your mouth hurts, it's uncomfortable to talk at times. You don't feel as good as you, like, in sales. The whole mission every day is to feel as good as you possibly can when you hit the phone, so that you're in the right headspace. And so you can imagine that day where you've got the headache and your mouth hurts and you didn't sleep good because you have a bad headache, and it's just a racket. So I feel like, man, that's a great point. Maybe you wait until maybe the Q1 of next year, the beginning of next year, just until everything settles down, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll talk to the dentist today, and we'll see what happens. Play the music. Growcock and Driftwood, or Giggity and Driftwood. That was probably a Freudian slip. Driftwood and Giggity are not the same person. There's a discussion on YouTube right now about that. And Driftwood says, "Yeah, I'm not Giggity. I'm not going to slurp you and Monty. I'm not Growcock. I'm in Colorado, not Australia. I love living rent-free in Driftwood's head," Giggity says. Cody Strickland says, "Okay, guys, are you a Marvel fan or DC?"
Marvel. Not DC.
I'm an adult, so neither. No, I'm kidding. I love comics. Batman's DC, isn't he?
Now it is, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Batman fan. A little bit of Marvel. Wonder Woman sucked.
You're hating.
Bunch of dudes with gems on their hands for fists. Anyway, all right. Make sure you hit subscribe. Being a total dick right now, just because I am. That's who I am. Hit subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up on this video right now. If you're here watching, give us a thumbs up. At 1,500 subscribers, we will give away this Xbox. All you have to do is take a picture showing you're subscribed. Tag the Monty Show, that's me. Tag SLC Supercars, that's Douche. On Twitter and Instagram. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.